everybody. My name is Coach Maddie and I am your weight loss expert. Today, I'm going to be going over an unorthodox way to curb your cravings. Now, in order to understand how to gain control or gain back control over your cravings, I first want to explain, what exactly is a craving and what's going on. So first thing you need to know about cravings is that they're usually actually never random. They're not these sporadic impulses that pop out of nowhere and that you're at the mercy of because you don't know when they're going to strike. Cravings, you can almost always trace them back to two things. Thing number one is they're available, right? So let's say you crave ice cream, you're craving it that night because there's ice cream in the freezer downstairs for you to have. If there was no ice cream downstairs, it wouldn't have even crossed your mind most of the time. Second thing is you saw somebody else eat it, right? So let's say you had a great day of eating, nighttime comes and your husband's eating M&Ms, watching Netflix, and now you want some because you saw it, right? So it's either that it's an option to give into because you kept it around, or you saw somebody else eating it, or you either saw it on social media scrolling. So that's normally the two places where cravings come from. And if you want to kind of stop cravings to begin with, that's where you want to focus your energy, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about once the craving is there, what the heck do you do? Well, like I was saying, it's not this thing that you're a slave to, although it can feel like it. It can really feel like, oh my God, I have this feeling. I don't know what to do. I need to give into it. And then you need to act on that impulse immediately. I have been there. I have been, how when people get mad and they see red and they go into rage, I see ice cream and I go into my trance, pretty much my craving trance of I need to eat. I can't help it. I need this now. Right? So it can feel helpless. And first thing I want you to know is it is not random. It is not sporadic. You are not helpless. Your environment and your life has curated that craving. So it didn't come out of nowhere and you're not helpless. Okay. Now, what happens when we do have this craving and we're sitting there and we're battling with ourselves? I really, really want this, but I know I shouldn't have it, but one bite won't hurt. But I didn't hit my goal this week. Oh, but you can start fresh tomorrow. This internal battle that we all have. When that happens, this is what I want you to start thinking. Okay. So what is making you want to crave? So what is the superficial reason that you are thinking you want to eat, right? Is it, I'm not going to get that food again for a while because I'm going to start my diet tomorrow, so I need to eat it all now? Is it, I had a really stressful day at work and this is going to help me unwind? Is it, I'm really bored right now and I've got nothing else better to do, right? So what is the superficial reason that the thought that appeared in your head that led to the craving? Okay, what is that thought? Now, that thing is actually just another version of the real reason you're craving. And it is simply to get a hit of dopamine. Okay, so dopamine is this ecstatic kind of like firework hormone that gets released and we feel really, really good, right? We feel good, we feel relaxed, we feel excited. It's just good feelings, okay? That is all that you are searching for, or more correctly, you can say that is all your brain and body are searching for when you have these cravings. So lots of things led to the craving, lots of things superficially caused the craving, but at the core and root of it all, it is just that your body is craving a hit of dopamine, okay? Why? Because maybe you've had the opposite of that, where you've had a really, really bad day and you're kind of trying to counteract it, or you've given into your cravings so much and you've spiked your dopamine so many times so frequently that that's the only high that you've learned to look forward to in a day, or one of the only highs. So you're looking for this dopamine. You're searching for it. I want it. I need it now, right? And it's kind of like an addiction to some sense, right? And if cravings weren't an addiction, they wouldn't be cravings, right? You'd be able to say no every time. And because you can't, there's some type of inherent reliance and codependence and addiction to this behavior, not the food. I want to make that distinction very clear. You are not addicted to the food that you are craving. You are addicted to the habit of craving because of the hormone that it releases when you do it. Okay. So it is the feeling of giving into that food that you are craving. It is not the actual food itself. So I don't, when you hear yourself saying, for me, it was peanut butter, right? I was addicted to peanut butter. I'd get home, I'd shovel spoonfuls of peanut butter into my mouth, standing in the jar, right? I wouldn't even take it and sit down. And then I'd feel like crap afterwards. But during, oh boy, did I feel good. That was just everything I needed to de-stress from my long day. But it wasn't the peanut butter, although I thought peanut butter was my trigger because every time I saw it, I couldn't help myself. It wasn't. It was the fact that I associated peanut butter with that good feeling so strongly that I thought I had an addiction to peanut butter, when really the addiction is the feeling. So that is your key distinction. If it is not the food that you are craving, but it is in fact the feeling after you eating that food or while you're eating the food that your body and brain is looking for, then all we have to do to slowly rewire the craving or the impulse to craving to action cycle we get stuck in is just say, okay, where else can I get the dopamine first? Because that is what your body is asking for. It is not asking for the food. We mistake that it is asking for the food only because we know that that's the quickest and fastest way to get that feeling because we've just done it so much, right? So to break the cycle of having the impulse, having the craving, and then acting out on that craving and actually eating the thing even though we know we shouldn't, to break that, all you simply have to do is realize that it's just the dopamine you're looking for. So where else can I get that in my life right now? Do you get that same high, or do you get maybe a little less of a high, but still a little spike in dopamine from reading a brand new book? Do you get it from going for a walk? Do you get it from a bubble bath, right? Do you get it from X, Y, and Z? There's so many areas that you can pull little exciting dopamine hits from that are more productive, more effective, and less damaging, and more productive in terms of, what's good for me overall, right? Because that giving into that craving is really good for me right now, right? I've convinced myself I need this right now, but long term, it didn't help your health. It didn't help your self-esteem because now you screwed up again. And it didn't help your overall well-being, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, any of it, because you disappointed yourself, right? Because you knew you shouldn't have done it. And so going forward, okay, understand that cravings are not these random impulses that you should be scared of and you never know where they're going to be around the corner. They are curated by your environment. And then it is not the food themselves that you're addicted to. If there's always a certain food that you tend to go to crave or eat at night or on your lunch break or whenever you are snacking, it's not the food you're addicted to. It is the feeling that that food is going to give you. And that feeling is just a dopamine hit, which you can go find in many, many other areas. You just have to remove the other areas where you get those huge dopamine hits, right? An example would be scrolling through social media, right? Maybe you need to remove the Twitter app on your phone so it's harder to get into, right? Remove the big things that spike your dopamine and then start replacing them with littler spikes so that those little spikes begin to lower your baseline dopamine and then they feel like big spikes again. And so you're getting that great, calming, exciting, happy, relaxing feeling from something else, from doing a Sudoku at night. That's what I love to do. I love Sudokus. That gives me excitement. I just got back from my honeymoon with my husband and I found my little dopamine hit instead of, because I was eating more than usual and more indulging than usual on the vacation. I had to kind of wean myself off of it when I got back. So I was still kind of craving the sugars and the fried foods and stuff like that. So what I did was I decided that my dopamine that week after vacation was going to be building a scrapbook of the vacation. And that was my dopamine. So instead of going for, another dessert or another big portion, because that's what I was used to the week before, the following week, I replaced it with scrapbooking. And I was just as exciting to scrapbook. And it gave me the same thing that I was searching for in food. Just the first thing in fighting your cravings is knowing that it is not the food that is causing the cravings. It is just your body looking for a feeling. And if you can give it that feeling, it will turn off the fact that you want food. You won't want it anymore. It's just going to take a little extra effort up front to rewire, to find where you're going to get your little hits of dopamine, and then start focusing on those. It is really that simple. So you're not a slave to your cravings, okay? And if you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that little bell notification so you get more videos like this, and you can know when they're coming so you never miss all your tips and tricks. And I will see you on the next video.